Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Are you alive? The dog is alive. Are you alive? Yes, I'd just like to welcome you guys on behalf of the National Financial Literacy Association. And I'd like to apologize. We were late this morning because of logistics. But I see most of you guys were on time. We appreciate that. Can you give yourselves a round of applause for making it here? Because as we all know, that's the first step. The first step is showing up, you know. So that we're going to have panel discussions. This is your opportunity to engage, find out about the challenges that you are experiencing in your business, because we know as small businesses, we experience a lot of challenges. So first and foremost, we have the compliance guys. Because if anyone has the power to close you down, it's actually SARS. Not the customer, not lack of funding, but compliance can actually close you down. So first panel is compliance and support panel. I don't know if they are ready. Compliance and support panel. Are you guys ready for us? Okay, so, yes. From SARS, are they ready? Okay, while we wait for them, just to give you a bit of background about the two ladies that are National Financial Literacy Association owners. They're actually both of them my former bosses. And the funny part is I worked under both of them in different departments. I had a lady earlier saying that she's changed her mind, she wants to start a business. Me and the two ladies that own the company that's hosting us today actually were all employees under one company at once. But, you know, because anything is possible, we decided, no, let's rather do it for ourselves, and we are doing it. So we basically invest in property, but not only that, what this is me now, just me, but what we do, we actually raised our own capital and we are able to fund under black-owned businesses, especially when it comes to property. So anything is possible. So is the compliance panel ready yet? Okay, please give them a round of applause, guys, as they come up.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nonzuzo Makanda. I will be facilitating this session of compliance. We just need NFLA on stage. Nosipo, are you ready? Okay. Is Flint in the house, Nosipo? Please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, for a few minutes. All right, we're going to hand over to South African Revenue Services for them to give us a brief background about the importance of compliance as small businesses and how it affects us if we don't comply. So over to you. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Nozuzo. Sanbonani. Good morning. Dumelang. My name is Sanele. Can I talk here? Want me to sit there? Okay. Yeah. If it's fine, I will just stand here. From SARS point of view, my name is Sanele Kunene, by the way. I'm from South African Revenue Services. The issue of compliance is a big issue, people, ladies and gentlemen, sort of to say. The compliance issue when it comes to tax matters is something that we're grappling with for years. But the question that I always ask myself is, why people want to come to SARS? Have you noticed how many people want to go to SARS? What happens 1st of July? Everyone goes to SARS to submit their tax returns. Why do you think they do that? Because it's a good thing to do. Just to share you a story, tax is not a new thing. Even way back in the ages, people used to pay tax. Those who follow religions of Christianity, they will know that in the book of Luke, at some stage, the man called Jesus said, he told them and said, pay to Caesar what's due to Caesar, or to Caesar. And then he said, pay taxes to whom it is due. So the tax issue is an old thing. But then let's say why people must pay tax, especially people who are doing business. We pay tax because it's the right thing to do for the country. Because for us to have these roads that we're traveling on built, for us to have these hospitals that we use to get service on, it's the taxes that we pay. To have security, to have policing, to have safety, we need to have that coffin in for us to be able to pay those services. Now, there are government subsidies that come as a result of the money that we also send or being collected by us on behalf of the state. Right? But for SMMEs, just to bring it home, the biggest challenge that we normally have with business people or SMMEs paying tax is the failure to keep records. Ama-document lawa adingakala ukuthi ufuneka usubmit ama-financials wakho. Kuyinkinga ke futhi, it's not just a problem in this country. In many countries, SMMEs are struggling to keep the records. Again, there's an issue of the so-called tax burden. Even if you hire an accountant, you still need to pay that accountant some money for them to help you with the documents, right? That's the biggest challenge that people are always having. But we are moving away, we are saying, we are there to assist you as SMMEs to comply with your tax matters. Because for you to submit any submission, if you want to tender or anything, it's always required to say, bring your tax clearance, right? Are you always ready with your tax clearance? No, it's not ready because you have not paid your tax, your returns are outstanding, you have not. So that's an issue. Then it becomes a problem. It means then you will not qualify or you won't be able to tender and so on and so forth. So just to quickly summarize, what SARS has done over the past years, in particular from 2012, we have introduced to assist sole proprietors and entrepreneurs the so-called turnover tax. Have you ever heard about that? Turnover tax? So the turnover tax is to help entrepreneurs do away with the so-called complicated documentations, complicated other tax types like your CIT or CGT, capital gains tax, dividends tax, VAT, and so on. So if you register for turnover tax, it just helps you do away with all those taxes and focus on one tax product. Now, what does it mean is, if your turnover in your business is less than $1 million, for example, then that threshold qualifies you to register for turnover tax. Right? We only look at turnover. That's it. Then we tax you based on the turnover. And I think for many businesses falling in this category, they take advantage of that and apply for turnover tax. That is done at the branches. If you go to any branches, they will help you with that. The tax rate is quite low. As we know, we're trying to look after people to try. We know people are starting up businesses, they're struggling. So the taxable rate is from 1% to 3%. It's based on turnover again, and then it depends how much we've made. So if I may just tell you, if you make any money from 0 to 335,000 per annum, actually SARS says you don't have to pay any tax from there, but you still submit returns, right? So SARS is saying from 335,000, only if you have registered for turnover tax, we will start then to tax you progressively, like I said, from 1 to 3%, depending how much we've made above 335,000 rand per annum. So those are just things that people need to be aware of. Or should you choose to register for small business corporation? Now, let's say your turnover is above 1 million. So you are now beginning to a bit of a bigger guy, but you are now no longer micro business, which is up to 1 million. So from 1 million to, say, 20 million. So you can register for so-called small business corporation. You don't necessarily register, but whenever you submit your return to SARS, you have to indicate to them to say, I am a small business corporation. You meet the criteria. There's a criteria that you have to meet on there. However, the taxable threshold starts from 78,000. So anything below 70,000 for small business corporation, we do not tax you. I hope that is clear. So you've got a lot of options so that you are safe from this 28% that people are getting into for which is called corporate tax. The corporate tax is meant for businesses that have already landed, if I may say. So if you are struggling, you're starting up, you've got a business that is not doing much, take advantage of registering for this turnover tax type, turnover tax, or indicate to such a small business corporation, they will be able to tax you based on that turnover that you have made. Is that clear, people? Now, with regard to tax clearance, let me emphasize again, people are walking to our branches requesting tax clearance certificate. We have since improvised or enhanced the system again. You don't necessarily need that hard copy of a tax clearance for safety and to make your life easy. You can only go to SARS and get a PIN, a status, now called tax clearance status. So once you get that PIN, you can give to any employer or municipality who want to know your status of your taxes. Then if they use that PIN, they can see your compliance level. All right. You can inquire that a lot. You can visit our website at www.sars.gov.za, or you can visit our branches, or you can call our call center. I think if you look at that pull-up banner, should have a call center number. But if you need our call center, I've got my colleagues there in the corner who will be exhibiting for the weekend from today. They'll give you a call center number. Unfortunately, I don't have exact number in my head. All right. So that's about SARS. So key things, the tax clearance certificate has been modified to be tax clearance status. You don't need a hard copy. 1, 2, it doesn't matter which industry you're in. It could be an NPO, you could be a sole proprietor, you could be running any type of business. If you could be even in the tax industry, you qualify for turnover tax, except for NPOs, I meant to say, because you're already getting some benefits in there. Right. That's about a little bit about SARS. I hope that just gives you an idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, SARS. Next up, we have Department of Labor to give us just a bit of information about compliance.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Siphamandla Kumete from the Unemployment Insurance Fund under the Department of Labor from the compliance unit. I'm just going to explain briefly, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you will then understand what are the compliance requirements and what is it that we as the Unemployment Insurance Fund actually do. I will speak to you as two people. First, I'll speak to you as an employee in the company. And then when I'm done, I'll speak to you as an employer owning a business. Under labor, there'll be Department of Labor, then there'll be different entities where you've got the Compensation Fund, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, Productivity SA, CCMA. It's a lot, but I'll just zoom in to UIF as an entity. Firstly, let us say you work for a company and you are registered, which means if you look at your pay slip, there is that 1%, yeah, UIF at the bottom. What is the use of that 1%? There are 5 benefits that we as the UIF have got for each and every employee that is registered and paying. The 5 are called, the first one, it's the normal unemployment insurance, which means you are employed and then you lose your employment. When you lose your employment, you come to the UIF, you claim, and we will pay you the benefit. Losing employment means you were on a contract and the contract came to an end, or you were retrenched from work and then you get access to that funding. If you resign, you do not get it. Or if you were fired, meaning that they had to let you go because you did something wrong at the office, you do not get it. That is the first one. The second one, it's an illness benefit. You are not well, you are on sick leave, you are sitting at home, and your employer says you are not going to get a salary while you are at home, or you are not going to get 100% of your salary. You come to UIF, you claim, we will give you an illness benefit. The third one, maternity. She falls pregnant, and at the time she needs to take maternity leave, she's not getting a salary from work. You come to UIF, you claim a maternity benefit. We will pay you for that period of about 42 months or so. And then the fourth one, adoption. You're adopting a child, and then while you're going through the adoption process, you are not earning a salary or not getting 100% of what is due to you from your employer. You come, you claim an adoption benefit, and we will pay out. The last one, you are contributing, you are employed to are contributing, and you pass on. When you pass on, your beneficiaries, which are the people that you left behind, they are able to come to a UIF and claim a benefit called dependence benefit. We also call it a death benefit. We're expecting your surviving spouse to come and claim, or your children below the age of 21 to come and claim. If they're above 21, they must be students at a university. Then we'll pay out that lump sum to cover those expenses. When all this happens, we expect you to come and claim within 6 months. If you do not come within 6 months, you are not going to get access to the benefit. It's 6 months from the last day of activity. Done. That was me speaking to you as an employee. Those are the benefits, and that is how you qualify to go and claim. You just need your ID for the normal one because the system will have everything. Then for maternity and adoption, you need the documents that speak to that. Then we pay out. And then for the death benefit, we need the surviving spouse and a copy of a death certificate. Then we're going to pay. That is done. Then as an employer, what is an employer in our eyes as UIF? Once you have got somebody that works for you for a period more than 24 hours a month, you are an employer. Once you have got somebody that works for you for a period more than 24 hours a month, you are an employer. It does not matter what type of employment it is, whether it was an interview or you just agreed, or it's somebody doing your laundry or ironing your clothes. As long as they are with you for a period more than 24 hours a month, you are an employer, and you need to come to the UIF and register as an employer. How to register? We have got documents, or you can even register online at the labor website. You register, you give us your information as an employer, and you give us information of employees. Who are those people that are working for you? ID numbers, initial surnames, how much are they getting paid, and when did they start, and how long are they working in a month? Why are we needing that information? It's so that we can be able to calculate the benefit when they come to claim at the fund. Once you give us information, once you register as an employer, we'll give you a UIF reference number, which means that is your number on our system that we use every time you communicate with us. And then when you give us information of your employees, that process is called declaration. You are declaring the information of your employees. You need to declare every time you employ someone new, every time you terminate employment on someone, every time there is a change in salary, every time somebody passes on, you need to let us know as the fund so that we can be able to update our system and pay out the benefit when the people come to claim. To declare, we've got a U-filing system. It's an electronic system, U-filing system that you can use to go online and do the declaration. Or you can use our other means, even our manual systems, which are the UI-19 documents that you come and you declare. Contribution. After you declare, on a monthly basis, you need to make contributions equivalent to 1% of the gross salary of the employee. How? Let us say the person earns 1,000 rands in a month. You calculate 1% from that 1,000. You deduct from the salary of the employee. And then you as an employer, you contribute an amount equivalent to that, which would be another 1%. And then on a monthly basis, you contribute 2% towards UIF on behalf of your employees. Then from there, when you make those contributions, we're going to maintain those funds so that when the employees come to claim, we are able to pay out that benefit. If you have got employees that are paying pay-as-you-earn, once you have got employees paying pay-as-you-earn, there is no need for you to make UIF contributions directly to UIF. You go to SARS. SARS will do the collection on our behalf from employers that have got employees paying pay-as-you-earn. Lastly, once you are up to date with the registration, declaration, and contributions, we have got a certificate called compliance certificate to prove that you comply. That certificate, to access it, you need to apply at UIF. There are two types of certificates. Firstly, if you are registered and you've got a UIF reference number, you apply for a compliance certificate. You apply within 10 working days, we respond to you, tell you that here is your certificate, or we tell you if you have got outstanding declarations or contributions, and then we ask you to go and change that. Then, if you do not have your reference number, because some of our SMMEs do not have employees qualifying to be registered with UIF because they don't have people working for them for a period more than 24 hours in a month. Then from there, you come and you claim for a UIF tender letter, which is different because the tender letter will say, this person is unable to register because they don't qualify. But we as UIF, we know that they do exist. Then that document, you will keep it and submit it every time you need to submit for a tender or you are applying for anything. For you to apply for it, for a compliance certificate, it will be compliance@uif.gov.za. You receive an automatic reply with the forms. You fill them in, you send them back following the instructions, and then in 10 days, we issue the document. For a tender letter for employers, for companies that do not have employees, it will be tender letter at uif.gov.za. Also, the same process will follow, and then we'll send the document to you electronically so that you can have that document. So employers or companies are encouraged not to only look for a certificate only when they need to submit. As long as you've got a CK number, apply for that document so that you can always have it. Because when you come and there is pressure, there is a tender closing, and you need to submit, if you do not comply, we will not give it to you. Because we will tell you that you don't qualify to get it. And the process of fixing compliance may not take place in one day because there are even other units within UIF that you need to consult in order for you to fix your compliance. So in a nutshell, once you become a company, have that document. Once you have employees, register so that we offer you a UIF reference number. If you do not, that means you are in contravention with the law. And when we come to register you, we will ask you, when did you start employing these people? If you started employing them back in 2010, the contributions that will be due from you will go back to 2010. inclusive of interest and penalties on top because you have not been complying. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Igniters. I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun. We are very excited to be here today. My name is Indran Govender, and my passion and focus is the future of entrepreneurship and how we as FlinFin can drive financial inclusion for entrepreneurs and SMEs through the innovative use of technology. We are very happy to be here today with you. And we'd like to thank the Gauteng Provincial Department, as well as the National Financial Literacy Association, and everyone involved to bring this amazing event together to support and promote entrepreneurship. So let me start by asking all of you a question. Who in the room has had a positive experience accessing finance? Yeah? Well, it says a lot, right? Well, we have good news. And the good news is that we, as a generation, are in the midst of two important transformations. The first is an economic transformation that's driven by entrepreneurship. And the second is that of technology, especially in the financial services sector. And we, as FlinFin, are at that intersection point. So according to the real state of entrepreneurship, it was a survey that was conducted last year across 1,200 entrepreneurs in South Africa who run their own businesses. The study revealed that almost 50% of those entrepreneurs and small businesses are youth-owned businesses. And did you know that the average age on the African continent is 19.5 years? So this is very exciting, and this is amazing, because with you as the youth, we are bound to see new innovations. We are bound to see new products, artisanal products, healthy products. We are bound to see products with ingredients that we know, clothes and textiles that reflect our society and our Africanism, right? But we also are going to see technological advances in communication, in how agriculture is being conducted, how we farm. And generally, the exciting part is that we're going to see new business models, exciting business models, new ways of doing business, and meaningful ways of engaging our customers. That is the hope that the young minds and innovation is going to bring to the future. It is so different from 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. The change is rapid, and we've got to embrace it. So let me tell you this. In the old world, it was the big fish that ate the small fish. In this new world, it is going to be the fast fish that eats the slow fish. And all of you here are the fast fish. So while innovation and entrepreneurial intent and activity is at an all-time high, sadly, the single biggest challenge that entrepreneurs face is access to funding. Absolutely. So, And this is where we as Flynn have come in. We are committed to ensuring that these creative companies, these brilliant entrepreneurs, those of you that are here today, are not limited by access to finance, right? So Flynn, firstly, is a fintech company. I'm sure you all must have heard about fintech. It's a new buzzword. So let me tell you what fintech is. Fintech is financial technology for short, and it is the innovative use of technology in the design and provision of financial services. And so how are we being innovative about this to help entrepreneurs access finance? Well, we've taken everything online. We have the mindset first that our application and our digital access will be mobile first, meaning that you can access finance from your mobile phone, craft your business plan from your mobile phone, apply for finance, register your company, as well as find insurance products that are relevant for you. Gone are the days of printing out thick forms, filling in block letter application forms and submitting them individually. To scan documents, print them out, email them. No. Right now, with Flynn, mobile first, access the application on your mobile device. If you need to provide a copy of any document, you use your camera, you take a picture of it, and it uploads automatically. So, when we talk about access to finance, there are a few other things that are of concern, and I'll talk to you about the two. So when SMEs require finance, they require finance now, swiftly, right? So the current scenario is you're going to have to go to a commercial bank, you're going to have to go to an institution, you're going to have to pick up the forms, or you're going to have to download them. You're going to have to complete those block letter forms, ones that are 30 years old, that haven't changed. Yeah? It's a pain. And not everyone has a scanner, not everyone has a printer. So we address this gap. With our mobile technology, you will be able to access funding anywhere, anytime, at your convenience. Now, the one thing that we have fixed is the current forms that you fill in for funding. They're often intimidating in that the financial terminology used in these forms are sometimes hard to understand. And those are the significant reasons as to why so many applications are either incomplete or inaccurate. On the Flynn platform, we take you through a journey. We ask the questions that are easy to understand. Our journey is intuitive, it's simple, and it flows. There's nothing complicated about it. We make sure that the application itself functions as a business plan. So we are able to do your financial projections for you based on the little information that we ask you for. Isn't that fantastic? A 5-year projection of your income statement, balance sheet, profit and loss, and cash flow. Things that the financial institutions want to see. We take care of that for you. The second thing is, with Flynn, we will help you find that access to finance that works for you. One that is right for you and your business at this particular time. So, in the old world, if you wanted to increase your chances to access finance, you would have to fill in application forms at this institution, that institution, and however many more if you wanted to increase your chances. So with Flynn, it is one application, which we then create an investor pack, and we distribute that to our partners, eliminating the need for multiple applications, sending them in, waiting for responses, unsure whether you're getting an answer. And with FlinFin, you will know where you stand, because we are driving our financing partners to give you an answer in 48 hours. We don't want anxiety to know whether is our application processed, where it is, no communication. So we are giving you that certainty that within 48 hours, you will get either a yes or a no. And if it's a no, FlinFin will help you access alternative options. So we are very excited to be part of this revolution, right? And we are happy today to be sharing our soft launch with you. And we know that you're going to use the FlinFin application. You're going to be early adopters of FlinFin. And we hope that you get on board, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. We'll be posting a lot of where we are having talks, jamming sessions, bringing on our partners, extending the information, because we want access to finance to be the last thing you need to worry about. You've got the skill, you've got the creativity, you've got the innovation, and the determination. We'll help you close that gap. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Govender. I hope that you guys learned a lot about this fintech new buzzword. I have NFLA coming up to also speak about compliance. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Morning, entrepreneurs. Are you excited to be here? We have to be excited. You know why? Because we've got all these people here who are going to take our businesses to the next level. That is, if we commit. We are running this organization because we've realized that we've got a challenge with growing SMMEs. And one of the challenges we have is compliance. That's why we have SARS here. Because we wanted them to tell us why do we need this tax clearance? And you know, I've been there. I know sometimes you realize later, but actually it has expired. And you don't even know what to do in terms of annual returns. There's also an issue of 15%. I didn't hear Ubhuda thetha ngayo. And I don't know how it affects us as SMMEs, but we need to know such. We've got the Department of Labor here because we are dealing with a lot of SMMEs. And our SMMEs, some of them are actually in construction. And I know for a fact that sometimes we are asked to bring a letter of good standing. Is anybody in construction here? Does that name ring a bell? Do we know what it is? Do we know why they need it? Okay. That's what I was expecting from the gentleman from Department of Labor. I don't know if it's your portfolio or whatever, but we need to understand such, because that's the reason why sometimes, remember, to us, if financial literacy is broad, how do I make money for my business? If you do not comply, you are losing on an opportunity. When you lose on an opportunity, you are losing money, isn't it? If you do not have your tax clearance, you are losing on an opportunity. Now, what we need to understand is, especially for construction guys, please help me labor here. Why do you need to have a letter of good standing? And sometimes they want you to have employees to register for UIF. What if you're a small business that does not have employees? In that case, what do? I want you to ask these questions. Another issue that we come across as entrepreneurs is the issue of access to markets. It doesn't matter if you have a great product, but if you don't have access to markets, who are you going to sell that product to? Remember, if you've got a product that is lying somewhere in your corner or in your wardrobe or in the storeroom somewhere, that's money lying there. So how do you turn then that product into cash? We need access to markets. I'm just saying that, unfortunately, the colleagues from the Department of Small Businesses are not here, because probably this is a policy issue, where each and every institution and company and whoever that is in South Africa must be forced to have those set aside for small businesses, so that our products can be sold, so that we make money from the business. Because it doesn't matter to register a company and you go around telling people, look, take no company. Yenzani company. Then the third thing is access to finance. That's another challenge for entrepreneurs. Why do we need finances? And a problem that we've also encountered is that sometimes even if a business does not need or require funding, but as young entrepreneurs, the minute someone has a business, ufuna funding. Not all businesses require funding. Or you can start your business without funding. You must just remember that. Because remember, as an entrepreneur, you need to make it happen. Yes or yes? You need to make it happen as an entrepreneur. So if you do not have funding, it doesn't mean then your business cannot operate, right? At some point, we're selling spinach because we needed the money for fuel to start with financial literacy. We will stand there as professionals and sell spinach because we needed money. So there are ways of making money. There are many ways of making money. But however, again, now if you do have access to this funding, let's assume that, for instance, you've got your funding, you've got the market for your product, you do comply, but then the next thing, how do you sustain that business if you are not financially literate? Or if you cannot manage those finances? Because now you get excited. Once the business makes money, then you want to buy, I don't even know the brands. What is the new brand now? Ipolo, it's Icon, I don't know. Is it Polo? What is it? Eh? What is the new brand? Whatever. I was not there. Fortunately, I'm from the rural areas. That's why I love SMMEs from rural areas. But we get excited and we do not manage that money. And we worked so much hard for it. Do not manage it. So that's the reason, colleagues, we are having this, because we want to bring information. And we've realized that the reason why sometimes we fail is just the lack of information. Also, please remember to manage that money well. We shall be taking one here. Ngani, are you here? Oh, okay. Then we'll try to take your questions. Program director, then we'll take your questions. Please ask this panel as much as you can, because by the time you get out of that door, we want you to be as informed as you possibly can. Hello? Oh, yes.
Thank you so much, Nosipo, for raising those important issues. I hope all of us now, we have questions to ask the panel right in front of us. So I'm going to take questions from this side, and then we will move into the right-hand side. Okay, you noted at the back. I'm going to take 6 from this side and 6 from that side. Okay, I'm going to start with the gentleman right at the back with the GF cap, and then followed by you, sir. This, yes. And then with gentleman with the brown jacket, you, ma'am, and then you. That's 5. Where's the 6th one? Anyone in the middle? I didn't take, oh yeah, over here. Okay, thank you very much. There's the roving mic for you. Please introduce yourself and your business briefly, and then pose your question. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Power Masemula. I'm a...
Sanibonani. Ninjani. Siyaxolisa ngokunwastela isikhathi ne. Sisa organize itulo because some people are sitting on the floor and some are standing. Do you mind? Just 5 minutes and then we'll let you know. Thank you.
Just carry on, say.
Is it fine to speak?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Power Masemula. I'm a financial literacy educator. I run a consulting firm. So I have questions for the panel as per first from SARS, e-issue e-filing. I think it's kind of a challenge. You go to their offices, they are very nicely sorted now. It's easy to work with them. However, what happens is that when they've finished assisted you, because we're a small business, they quickly refer us to e-file. And then there's nobody to assist us with You know, we're not that computer literate. So it's sort of a big challenge because you are given good, you know, just go to the website. When you go to the website, it asks you for a reference number. You put in the company PTY number, it doesn't function. You put in the reference number of tax, it still does not function. So if maybe the gentleman from SARS can assist us. However, we really appreciate the swiftness that we get from SARS. I think we must applaud you. The system keeps on improving all the time. If you can just assist us there, just to connect between this e-filing thing, we think it's a good system. However, please, if you can just break it down, because those people at your help desks, all they do is just refer us there, and there's just nobody to help us technically to set up. That's the first question. And then on the labor part, and like Usisi said, the issue yama letter of good standing. I'm a service provider. I'm supposed to work in mining. I'm looking for work. And then they're asking me for a letter of good standing. And like Usisi said, I'm all alone. I'm doing training. So they asked for that letter. So I don't know, my brother, how we can assist each other in terms of that letter of good standing. It's also a bit of a technical jargon because when you apply for it online, they ask for your ID, your CK number, and there's just no human contact as to who we can ask or telephone in. So if maybe you can explain us, Uguti, in the letter of good standing, how does it work? And then the last one, my brother from FinTech, thank you very much for your innovation. It's beautiful. I spoke to you earlier. I'm just a bit concerned. We have clients that are needing bridging finance. Can your system assist those types of entrepreneurs who maybe they've just got in a bid or a tender at the municipality, and then they're just looking for them to be able to buy that stock so that they can take their business through? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. We're moving on to Sir. Pass the mic to the gentleman right. Thank you. Please introduce yourself and your business briefly and pose your question. Thanks.
My name is Hlanganiso Maluleke. I'm from Trailered Food and Trailered Acquisitions. So it's two companies. But okay, essentially, the first question that I have is for SARS. So regarding the taxes for companies that are making above 1 million rand on turnover or revenue. So I just wanted to know, you tax after expenses, right? After expenditure, but then what do those expenditures actually include, and what are the benefits or perhaps some kind of tax deductions that we may have as slightly larger businesses who provide maybe a little bit more in terms of employees and job opportunities? Because maybe you have, like 15 employees that are working for you at that time. Also, I wanted to ask a question for UIF. On the sense of employees, do the employees need to be South African citizens, or when you have an employee and they just have an ID number or perhaps some kind of documentation saying that they are a human being, then that is done? Or do they actually need to be a South African citizen? Okay, yes. And also a question for Flintfin. I currently have, within Trailered Acquisitions, I currently have 15 trucks that are actually standing and waiting for work. I just wanted to know, regarding that, would you be in a position to actually fund logistics businesses? You know, in perhaps maybe getting more trucks or stuff like that. So I just wanted to know also the packages, perhaps, the different packages that are from Flintfin. And also a last question. Oh yes, and also for the UIF, you said that I just wanted clarification on this, that if an employee is pay as you earn, then I do not need to make contributions to their, yes, to you, the 2% that you actually said that we need to pay. But I just wanted to know, if then I've not been paying taxes maybe for the past 2 years, no, not taxes rather, but I've not been doing those contributions, those 2% contributions, then regarding an employee who does pay as you earn, what are the chances of me paying back pay, if there's such a thing? Thank you.
Hello? Oh, okay. Can we just limit questions to two per person?
Yes,
Otherwise, we'll
please.
sleep here. Then you can always have one-on-one sessions with the panelists after this. But for now, at least just two, so that we accommodate everybody. Thank you.
All right, morning everyone. My name is Spiso Ndlovu from a company that's NS Holdings, basically dealing with property. I actually registered the company with another director, a friend of mine, last year. So I just wanted to find out in terms of like the compliance issue, just directing it to the labor guy. The company has not started operating yet, but it is fully registered. So I wanted to know that in terms of us actually having that clearance letter, if we now need to go and actually apply for finance to actually start our business, what are the steps that we actually would need to then follow? Because it hasn't been operating, we haven't been generating any revenue on our side. And in terms of from Flintech, what are the processes of actually, just receiving funding for us to actually start our business and actually have it maintained and going forward? Thank you.
Please pass the mic to the lady. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lerato Khaswane of the ATM restaurant, which stands for African Trademarks. My first question goes to Fin. I would like to ask, as much as you guys have improved your services in terms of them being effective and convenient for us to use, have you also made adjustments with regards to the content of how to access funding? Say, for example, the collateral that is being needed from us as SMMEs from previously disadvantaged backgrounds, and the 6 months bank statements which do not currently look so good. We'd like to know if you have also touched into that as well, as much as you have made it easier and accessible to us. And the second, actually, this is one, more like information, giving information to the SARS department. I would like you to know that the 15% VAT increase, as much as it has its own benefits and advantages to the state, it has hindered our businesses. Our suppliers' prices have went skyrocket high, and that has made a very negative impact in our pricing. Say, for example, with me in the food industry, we are now buying food at a very expensive price, and then now we are now having a challenge with our customers with regards to our pricing. When we try to look for other alternatives, like, say, for example, reducing the quantity of the food being sold, they complain as well. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to take the lady, number 5, over here. And then we're going to move to the gentleman in the middle with the white cap after you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy. I'm from Wendy Images and Panda Studios. We run a photography, videography, graphics, and website business. So I wanted to ask from the funding guy if you guys fund such businesses, because I know a lot of people don't take this businesses seriously, like if you're doing photography and videography. So I wanted to ask also, what is the maximum funding that we can possibly get if you guys do fund such businesses? Thank you.
Okay. Please pass it through to the gentleman with the white cap. Thank you.
Okay. Good day, everyone. My name is Sbu Charlie. I've got a question for Oputi Ukumete regarding compliance with construction industry. Because early this year, we're supposed to, basically we filled our applications. The required documentation was sent to Pitori. But each time we're trying to follow up to get those documents. Firstly, phones don't get answered. You are kept on hold for 10 minutes, and that's a lot of money that we spend over many, many days. So I want to just understand how can they better assist us? Because this thing of being kept on hold by government departments, and it's not only just labor, it's many of them. NHBRC, you call them many countless times, and it's just a mission to get simple things sorted, such as this thing on your compliance. And they're coming to put the Ugnene. And on that point that my brother earlier touched on, e-filing. It's 2018 now, right? And technology, obviously, is one of the main things. And one of the challenges that we're having, especially with this thing e-filing, is can't you guys just create, and if you cannot, perhaps we can come and present to you guys and assist you guys tutorials online. Instead of having to go to SARS offices each time you want to do e-filing, it would be so much better if you can just easily go to YouTube and find a tutorial for a new business. This is what you do. And if you guys need assistance with that, we can also assist in that part. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to... Thank you. We're going to give our panel a chance to respond to the questions, then we're going to move on to the other side. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Maybe let me give just 2 minutes to my colleague, because I said I'm from the Unemployment Insurance Fund, she's from the Compensation Fund, which means the COIDA letter of good standing. She has got a bit of more of a detail than I have. Then as soon as she's done, then I will carry on responding to the other UIF-related questions. Just the letter of good standing.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Minki Manganye from Compensation Fund. That is your injuries and diseases that occur in the place of work. Letter of good standing. It's a letter that says you as a company, you are complying with all the rules and regulations of the Department of Labor. It's a letter of compliance that is used for companies if you are subtendering, or you want to go and get the work at that company. It basically says that you are only complying with the Department of Labor and that you are registered, so that when your people get injured in the company, then they know that they are covered. They don't have to report them or their injuries under their own company. Now, if the company is not submitting the returns of earnings, annual returns of earnings, you can't get the letter of good standing, even if the company is not owing any money to the Department of Labor Compensation Fund. Now, the letter of good standing, as much as the registration is now done online, the letter of good standing, you still do it on the old labor website, your www.labor.gov.za. That is www.labor.gov.za. You go to the online services, you put in your compensation registration number, the 99 number, then you'll be able to get your letter of good standing. The letter of good standing that we're issuing right now, they will expire only on the 31st of April in 2019. Now, we also have a tender letter. A tender letter, we're using it for those small companies that don't have any employees as yet. Now, if you don't have any employees and you are still asking for funding, you cannot get a letter of good standing. Whatever company where you go and you say you want funding, if they say they want a letter of good standing from you, tell them that your company is not yet registered with Compensation Fund, as much as the company is registered with CIPRO. And they cannot force you to register the company. So you come to us and say, this company X, you have asked for funding from them. They want a tender letter. they are supposed to give you something in writing, because all the tender letters are addressed specifically to the company where you want funding from. Then you take it back, and the onus is on you and that company to register your company as soon as they give you funding or as soon as you have employees. And the company must be registered within 7 working days of the employees starting to work, so that they can also be registered. Now, all the employees that are working in the company, whether it's seasonal employees, whether it's casual employees, they must also be registered. They must be taken into account when you are registering your company. I hope that will answer your question. The letter of good standing, you cannot get it online, like your letter of good standing, you can get it online, but the tender letter, you get it at number 167 Thabo Sihume Street in Pretoria. Your tender letter, you get it from 167 Thabo Sihume Street in Pretoria. That is the Delta Heights building. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. If there may be any further questions relating to the letter of good standing, we can still maybe take them from the second round of questions. Now, employees, they do not have to be South African for them to be registered with UIF. Even foreign nationals, we are using the passport, is it passport number? Yes, the passport number plays the same role of the ID number when you have got foreign nationals that are working for you. So employees do not have to be South African only. When I was speaking about as soon as you pay as you earn, we have got an agreement with SARS that for them to collect UIF contributions on our behalf from employers that have got employees also paying pay as you earn. An example, let us say you've got 10 people working for you and one person is paying pay as you earn at SARS. Then you just need to take the contributions of all the 10, even those that are not paying pay as you earn. You make the contributions directly at SARS, and then from there, SARS will do the monthly transfers of finances back to the UIF for us to maintain those funds. If you make contributions directly to the fund while you are supposed to be making it at SARS, you will experience challenges when you apply for things such as a compliance certificate or a tender letter. Because when you apply and you are making contributions at SARS, we ask you for your tax clearance certificate. We take it, we send it to our finance unit. They check on the SARS system to see if all is up to date. So it's always important, as soon as you register with SARS to start making pay-as-you-earn contributions, redirect your UIF contributions there so that your affairs can be in order. Then, for you to register with UIF, you have to have employees. Even though your company was registered back in 2010, but if you have never had an employee, we cannot expect you to register with UIF. But as soon as you employ a person, then we expect you to register immediately. Because the reason why I even said earlier on, even though it goes back to 2010, interest and penalties, we start charging contributions from the first day you employ a person, which means the first month you employ a person, we expect contributions. If you do not make those contributions, then unpaid contributions attract interest and penalties. Then automatically then, that is why it will go to that level. Then, currently, I know, I will speak for UIF only, that our call center system, it's not 100% up to scratch. Our call center, we do have challenges of people saying that I've been waiting for a past hour on the line. And it is wasting a lot of money in the process, which is why we are in a process of re-engineering that unit so that we can be able to get the better services and even our employers or our clients. But in terms of, let us say maybe you are not finding assistance there, I've displayed our contact details on this screen. Please take them down. More specifically at the bottom, because those are my direct communication details. Once you pick up that you are experiencing a challenge for a document you are applying for, send it to me directly. Whether you are sending a complaint or an inquiry, then I will ensure that you are able to be serviced quicker, or we are able to check in terms of what is going on. Why are you not being assisted? When you send an email to our email addresses, you receive an automatic reply and it will give you a form again. Once you have filled in a form once and you've sent it, even though you get an automatic reply, it still gives you a form. You don't have to fill it again because it's an automatic reply that we embedded onto the email for it to respond automatically all the time when you send an email through. I think I've covered all the questions that were directed to the Unemployment Insurance Fund. If not, the MC will assist me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to SARS.
Thanks. Brapawa, just one issue around e-filing people. When we talk about e-filing, I'm happy, first of all, to hear that you are making use of e-filing, and I hope many people are doing here. E-filing was meant, good people, to make our life easier, so that you're not found going to SARS, spending money, taking transport or driving to SARS. So you can do it even in your house, and you submit and reconcile and do everything and comply with SARS just on your laptop or whichever device you use. Now, since we started with e-filing around 2007-8, we know that, yes, you are right, a system needs to be enhanced periodically. We've done some enhancement along the way to get it to where it is right now, to deal with the volumes, one, two, to address some of the challenges that you might have encountered, like the password issue. There's an issue around, I also picked up that the other issues, you can't load documents that you want more than 2 megabytes. So we are looking at those issues, and some of them have been attended to. Again, we've done a survey, obviously, to see some of these issues that you are raising, power. So yes, you are right, it's not always smooth and running. We now and then have to resolve issues as we pick up, but under circumstances or overall, e-filing is one of the very good tools we have put for the public to use. In fact, a number of people are not even going to queue to SARS as we start tax season for individual purposes. They do e-filing, all right. We do have support in the branch if we have issues like what Power has just mentioned. So if you go to the branch, we've got e-filing expertise there. The issue might be my question is, why would they refer you to e-filing unless they've resolved your issue? If it's about training, we do have a branch office engagement colleagues who do support, off-site support, where the need arises to assist you with a particular matter. We do also have support on our call center I was talking about. They do assist you with e-filing issues when you call them. Specifically, maybe you can talk to me after here. We can assist you with specific to the area you are in so that you don't have those issues going forward. The other question was around my brother here. I'm just forgetting your name, brother, sorry. Nhlanganiso. Okay, Nhlanganiso. I'm happy to see young entrepreneurs like you talking the issue of trying to ensure empowerment in terms of employment, because one of the focuses on the National Development Plan in government is that SMMEs, as much as they are engine of the economy, and in actual fact, we receive a lot of revenue as SARS from SMMEs. Let me just acknowledge that as well. And for that, the government has been saying, let's support them to make sure that they assist with employment. So if you are making a turnover of above $1 million, yes, the benefits for you will be within the small business corporation tax incentives. One. Two, there is also so-called, of which I'm somehow disappointed, there is so-called ETI. ETI was introduced by government. And again, good people, let me just remind everyone, SARS don't decide on incentives on a policy matter regarding tax. We get instruction or get a direction from National Treasury. I will talk to the VAT issue later, but those are issues that are determined by the government, and the National Treasury through Ministry says, SARS, you collect this. So we get a mandate, right? So ETI is called Employee Tax Incentive, right? ETI. 2-3 years ago, government introduced that to assist employers. So in other words, if you are an employer, like Nhlanganiso has got a company, and you decide that you will recruit majority of young people. So if you submit to SARS that you have recruited a number of people under the age of, I think, 28 years, and they have been earning X amount, you get an incentives that is a rebate in terms of the tax that you must pay. So out of the employees, you made an example of saying you've employed about 15 people. I will imagine it's majority of young people. We normally refer to them as millennials. All right, so I think, yes, there are some benefits associated with employing people, in particular young people, youth, the graduates, just people who just finished universities. All right. The next question was from my sister from ATM. Here, yes. Yes, the issue of VAT, I'm happy I've just mentioned that we just implement. SARS is not making a rule to say we are now going to put X amount of tax this year. Each time the minister is going in that parliament and announcing and doing a budget speech, that's when, after all consultation, looking at the economic factors, looking at the inflation rate, looking at where we are in terms of issues pertaining to economy, then a particular rate of tax is actually applied. Now, in this case of VAT, and as you might be aware, there is actually an initiative from the president himself to say, together with all other constituencies, to say, let's look at this 1% increase. So there is a task team, in fact, ministerial task team that is looking into the pricing factor, not the pricing factor, but to look at the goods, and that should actually attract VAT, or those that should be zero-rated, essential goods, so that it doesn't hit to the pocket of the consumers, that you're actually supplying those goods. So yes, the suppliers will hit you with the prices because they have to now take into account this 1% increase. But again, good people, VAT, for me, we are a bit too late. I'm just talking from what's going on. If you just go north of Africa here, I was in Tanzania 2 years ago. Tanzania is not talking about 15%. They've been talking about VAT of 18% years ago. 18%. And again, I heard people, some of them are confused. We have not increased VAT by 15%. We've actually increased VAT by 1%. Yeah, 1%. So, but it hits to a pocket, because that 1%, if you, depending on the price of a product, it makes a huge difference. And it goes to increase substantially to everything, that even if you look at transport, etc., it gets to everything eventually. But you are right. The only thing or consoling part to all of us is that there is a close look into what types of good or which some of the goods can we exclude on the VAT category. But all I can report from where we are now, for the past month or two, it's going very well. People are submitting their returns, and then they are starting to pay the applicable 15% in terms of submitting returns. So as of 1st of April, people have already seen the reason to pay this 1%, and they are, well, some of them, they look as if it's forced to them, but yeah, we are seemingly getting there as a country, all right. Brother Sbu, the issue around the tutorials online, yes, thanks for that idea. We will explore it, and you are welcome to engage me. Luckily, I'm responsible for SMMEs in SARS, so I will be able to look at your request closer. However, beyond that, we do have the so-called small business website on our internet. So if you go to SARS, www.sars.gov.za, there is a site there for small business where we're putting all the compliance requirements, documents that you need to comply with, the VAT registrations, be it EMP201s, anything, we package it there on the small business website. And I make sure myself periodically I check what's in there. Is it relevant? Is it helping us? And so on. So visit the website in the meantime, but I do welcome the online tutorial thing you just mentioned now. I think that will be all that was around SARS fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's move on to Flynn.
Thank you. Hello again. Thank you for your questions. I'll start with gentleman at the back, Power. Thank you for the chat at our stand earlier. We spoke about financing or access to financing in the construction space. So just to tell you all, we don't have a finance or funding product around the construction industry. It's something definitely to look into, considering that we've had more than 3 inquiries this morning around that. And in terms of invoice funding, we do have a product on the Flynn portfolio that provides invoice funding. It's a short-term solution, 30 days, 60 and 90 days. You can go to our website. There's a lot of information there that will give you the guidelines on that product. To the gentleman that has the trucks standing and not generating any revenue, and you want to know what funding is available to you. And I think my response to this will cut across the other questions. It's very important to keep in mind that whilst we have made every endeavor to make the access to funding easy and convenient, it by no means means that it's going to get easy, that you can just fill in the application form and expect a letter of offer. You got to know your stuff. To start off with, the compliance aspect. You need to have a registered business. You need to comply with all relevant regulatory requirements, right? You got to know your business. You got to know who your customers are, what your revenue model is going to be, your pricing model, what is your gross turnover, net turnover, expenses, and most importantly, you need to show that your business will be sustainable for the term of the finance that you want to engage in. It's you got to know your stuff. As much as we can help you make that and make it easy, you got to know at least the fundamentals of business. If you don't understand, if you feel that you need to develop some financial literacy, please reach out to my colleagues at the NFLA. They have a great program. Get on board, go through the training. It'll give you a great foundation to gain some financial insight to run a successful business. We've all got to be responsible about that. We've got to take that responsibility ourselves. To NS Holdings, you had a question around the requirements. Yeah. Again, the requirements at its most minimum, you need to have a registered company. If you don't have a registered company, on our website, you can go through the process to register your company there. We'll facilitate all that for you paperlessly and swiftly. Okay? So apart from offering you the capability to register your company and apply for finance, please access our business plan generator. It is a very guided, wizard-driven approach to getting important information that's going to help you craft that business plan. We ask you the questions in a very engaging way, and you can do it from your mobile device. So go through that, take advantage of that. And, you know, so there's a big difference of a business plan that exists in your mind and your ambition until you put it down on paper, get it in writing, and see the output of it. So that's a great starting point as well. In terms of the lady from ATM restaurant, again, in terms of collateral, so this is a journey. This is a long journey of that we've started. We are an intermediary. Flintfin is an intermediary. We're licensed as an FSP and as a national credit provider. But right now, we work with a number of capital providers. We work with a commercial bank, and we work with other alternate capital providers, including the development financial institutions as well. So we're building this ecosystem of different capital providers, grant programs as well, so that we can facilitate all of this. We've got to meet their requirements. And those requirements feature on the products that we position for the SME market. So let me tell you about the products that we're positioning. So we are very driven and committed to black-owned SMEs. Our first product is finance for women-run businesses. Right? Have a look at that. Have a look at the guidelines and see if it relates to you. The other products that we have is, again, SME finance for black-owned SMEs. There's a product that we carry, which is finance or funding for entrepreneurs with disabilities. We have finance, asset-based finance, term-based finance, working capital, inventory, and we also do invoice funding, invoice factoring, and invoice discounting. So there was a question, if I get a purchase order as a result of being awarded a tender and I don't have the money to do it, then we'll happily facilitate that finance for you, as long as it meets the minimum requirements, which is it has to be from a municipality or a government department, a government organization, or one of the listed blue chip companies. Happy to facilitate finance for that, all digitally. Okay. And then Wendy had a question in terms of photography. Thank you for that. We need more creatives. And to be honest with you, the options for funding for the creative aspect is is not as much as it should be, right? And it will change with time. So we've positioned ourselves as an intermediary between the capital providers and the SME and entrepreneur communities. As we engage and as we learn from you about what you want, these are the conversations that we can drive with the capital providers going forward. It's not an easy journey. We don't have all the products to bring to you right now, but we want to earn your trust, and we want to have that daily touch point with you, and we want to have that engaging conversation with you, whether it's social media, whatever it is. We want to know, we want to have that feedback to say, this is what we're working towards, and this is what we need to do. Just going back to ATM restaurant in terms of the collateral. So we're driving a huge change in mindset, and it's a mission for us. So for all time, including up to now, SME funding, the data about it has been kept in silos. None of the banking institutions share the data that they have about SME funding. So they keep the numbers to themselves, they keep the risk assessments to themselves, and as a result, we do not learn about SMEs, the risks, the performance, across the board. So we learn in silos. And being an intermediary and facilitating all your deals, we are driving what is called big data and data insights. So we can look at all of this data and see, what does a hairdressing salon in the south of Johannesburg make on a monthly basis? What are the expenses? And from there, we are able to extract norms and basically help the financiers look at analyzing credit risk for SMEs in a different light. How about maybe using your education as collateral somehow, you know? And this is where we need to be creative about things. So you might ask, who is our customer as Flynn? And your customer generally will be the one that pays you. And in our case, it is the financial institutions that pay us, but they are not our customer. Our customer is you. Okay, so our customer is you, and we're going to use our conversations with you to tip the scale to our advantage. So thank you. I hope I answered all your questions appropriately.
Thank you very much, Indren. We are a little bit pressed for time. So instead of balancing, we're going to take 2 questions this side, and then we will then on the next panel take more this side and then few this side, just to balance, because we live in a democratic country. So I'm going to take a lady and a gentleman. Okay, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to start with you, ma'am. Okay. Okay, I'll take both, but please let us be brief, very brief. We're pressed for time. Thank you. Where's the roving mic? Over here? Thank you. Please, colleagues, let's keep it brief. Thank you.
Sanbonan. Umfowethu lo akwa Labor. I just wanted to say something rather than ask a question. I think our state-owned entities are using, and in actual fact, it's not a thought, it's a fact. They are using COIDA as a barrier to entry. If you want to be on the ESCOM database, they tell you, get COIDA, or you cannot be on the database. Then now that says you need to go to the Department of Labor and apply for it. At Labor, when you get there, they tell you need to have UIF before you have COIDA. Then every year, these people are paying a lot of money towards COIDA and UIF, whereas they're not having any jobs. And in my small understanding, I'm told that COIDA and UIF is meant for people with contracts. If you can screen on your system, you will discover that a lot of people have COIDA, and accountants are actually getting, people are paying 3.5 to about 5 grand. And it's a bad thing. I think it's just bad corruption. Something has to be done there. And then secondly, I don't know, Mr. Flintfin, is it possible that maybe after this I can have one-on-one possibly, because I may begin to say something here that would probably put you in a very compromised position, and you know.
Okay. Thank you. Let's move into to the other lady.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Ati Khweklu. I'm an actuary by profession, but I have a company which is EduTech. So we've launched a mathematics app, which is now available on Android as well as the App Store. So my question is, there's this term that's usually loosely thrown around, which is access to markets. So what I want to understand is, once you have a product and you have a market for your product, and you've even made a couple of sales in terms of corporates as well as individuals, clients, schools that actually are buying your product, where can you go in order to scale your business? Because I feel our challenge currently is that we don't know who to go in terms of developing our broader overall marketing strategy, as well as like getting the right company to partner up with us in order for us to make more sales and scale the business. So a lot of entrepreneurs have products, have everything, but the final push is obviously the sales and new markets. But with the panel and a lot of people that spoke here, I don't feel that has been quite addressed properly, like who do we go for assistance in that regard?
Thank you, Atrang Mohoshi, and I have a company of construction and farming. So what I wanted to ask to Flimfin is that, do they fund when you want a land or you get an offer to purchase a land?
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe on the part of, I know that our time in terms of dealing with these things is not that sufficient, because actually going back to financial literacy or even planning of sessions in this nature, where we're going to go and sit down with SMMEs and spend the whole day, so that we go through the compliance process from step one up to the end. Then from there, with that broader understanding, and then that means you will know as soon as you register a company or as soon as you want to start business, you know exactly what it is that you need to be doing. As much as we do have a stall, there is a stall that side, the Department of Labor. You are welcome to go there and ask further questions based on all the services that are offered by Labor as a department. Maybe some can be covered from there, or then others we can exchange contact details, and then, because we are even willing to come to you to sit down with you so that we take each other through these processes, and then from there I'm sure majority of challenges or questions needs to be will be covered in that process. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the access to finance question, we also have another panel that is going to come on stage that will divulge on that as well. So because we are pressed for time, I think we can give Linfin a minute, but if he didn't cover all your questions, don't worry, they will be covered on the next panel. Thanks.
Sorry. So the lady, I must apologize sincerely. I didn't hear your question, but I'm happy to have a chat after this, and we can stand here and have a chat. So my apologies.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, are you learning? Are you learning anything today? Have you learned a lot? Will you remember everything you learned if we were to write a test now? Okay, guys, up next we have, because we're sort of tired now, right? Because we learned so much, our heads want to pop, right? So we have an entertainment piece. We have Usisi Umzwilili, Usisi Upelokazi Maqok. Uzoza azostulela kamnandi, while the Access to Markets panel gets on stage. We will be listening to her. So can you clap your hands for her as we welcome her on stage?
Molweni. Ninjani? Siyaphila. Igama lami nguPhelokazi, an upcoming artist. Yeah, this year, I think so. Yes. Ndihlala apha eDK, phase 1. Ndise artist noko sazikhaselayo bethunana. So ngiqonde namhlanje make ndize. Ndinolivisa nje into emnandi nje. Bandiyaqonda uba ngoku noba sidiniwe ne. So sinida nje just movement kancinci nje. Ndicula iAfro pop, guys. Ingoma ethi Indlela. It's my journey song because ndisuka kude nayo. Umculo is not into elula. It takes time. But namke I'm willing to ukuthi yeah ndifikelele apho amanye ama artists afikelele khona. So bengicela DJ ukuthi usiphe Indlela, please. Malizula ndifunana nendlela ebanzi kudala ndihamba ndifunana nendlela ebanzi ndiphuma ndingena ndifunana nendlela ebanzi abanye bemane besithi hamba udufike abanye bemane besithi nyamezela hamba kote kulunge abanye bemane besithi ungazula ithemba noma kuye noma lendlela. Hey, 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 hey. There is another one called Uthando Lwami Okokugqibela Bethuna. Then ndihlike ndihlale phansi. Just siphe bhuti. Eyokugcina hlale phansi. Hey. Oh. Oh. Longo tando, tando lwami. Dizomnika. Longo tando, tando lwami. Masukumen, masukumen, masukumen. Dalangana nawe, tali wami. Daxelela ukuthi wena usisithando sami. Dalangana nawe. Sano sami nazixelela ukuthi wena ongowami sithandwa ngiyakuthanda baby ngiyakuthanda sweetie ngiyakufuna wena sano sami ngiyakuthanda baby ngiyakufuna ngiyakuthanda wena sano sami hey. Babini Satalatina Sitanana Shalo Satulwazin Lutumina Westano Sami Homina Nawe Satala Sitanana Shalo Satulwazin Lutumutina Sobabini Satalatina Sitanana Shalo Mina nawe tala sitana na jalo Dizomnika Ongizomnika Utando Dizomnika Yeah Ongizomnika Oh
Can you just give her a round of applause again? Thank you.